Good evening, my friend. Welcome to WDW Radio Live. We are back. It's been a few weeks. All my fault. Thank you so very much for being here. Whether it's your first time watching, or you are back again, whether you are a longtime member of the Clubhouse and Nation family, or you've just found the show, I appreciate you. If it is your first time watching, please let me know where you are watching from. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us live every Wednesday, I promise, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, both on YouTube and on Facebook. I have cracked the code to be able to do it when I'm here in the home studio or when I am out and about in the parks, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and some other things I have planned in the future. Now, let me just look and see if somebody is any first-timers and look at some of your comments. Jim Orohowski. Jim, for years, you have been like the first. You always share. I appreciate you, brother. Mike Beckerman, always good to see you. Rich Ostry from MEI and Mouse Fan Travel watching over on YouTube. A lot of familiar faces, a few new names as well. Karen says, I am so excited for October and our cruise on the Disney Magic once again to Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point and Castaway Cay. We'll talk about that as well. Becky Menken, it's been a minute. Like a day without Becky is like a day without sunshine. Sunshine. I'm not going to even look to the studio audience, which doesn't exist, but the studio audience in my brain that didn't say sunshine. It's good to see you, Becky. Becky says other things. Always scary. Andrew Milan. Elizabeth Meepkin, long time no see. Thank you very much for being here. Jim O'Neill. Not a first-timer, not a first-time WDW Radio cruiser and adventurer. Kenneth Puccia, good to see you, buddy. And Garrett Longhofer, first time back in a while. Starla, nice to see you. Again, even if you're just sitting back on the couch, in your chair, in the car, and you're watching more of a lurker than a commenter, just pop in and say hello so I know that you're here. Amanda, Pixie Dusted Days, first time on the... Amanda, you're getting old. She's on the YouTubes. She's on the YouTube this time. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a different experience, right? Watching on YouTube and or versus. Some people say they watch on their TV on YouTube, but they like to chat on Facebook on their phone. Listen, whatever works. I'm just happy to be able to reach you and chat with you like any possible way. And it's funny because I was thinking about this today. I was out in Epcot for a little while for a meeting and to do some work on some projects that I'm working on. And I need you to know just how grateful I am to be here. Like literally, physically, metaphorically, like to be here with you and to be able to, as I was getting ready for the show tonight, like I'm so fortunate, like I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed to be able to even talk about Lighthouse Point with you this week. And then I start getting, in typical Lou Mongello sentimental, like the fact that you have gifted me, which is a gift, not just your time, but you allow me to share my passion for Disney with you. It's coming up on 20 years. My first book I guess it's been 20 years, right? Because my first book came out in 2004. And like, that gratitude I have always felt from day one, and I never want you to think that it is lost on me what I get to do like every day for like the smile that I have on my face is real. If you've ever been to a park with me on an adventure, on a cruise, or eating with me, like that the smile that comes from me is genuine. And like it's like I've always wanted you to feel that way as well, right? Whether we're talking about Disney or whether we're talking about something else, like it's why I started wanting to try and help people like any way that I can beyond the Disney stuff, years ago through coaching and mastermind and then my momentum events and things like that, because I want you, like me, I want you to be as excited every single morning for what you get up and do. Like still to this day, like there's some nights, like I hate when the body starts giving out, like the mind is still going and the body starts giving out, because I freaking love what I do. And people ask me all the time, like, what's your exit strategy? I'm like, I don't know, death. They say, what's your plan? I'm like, I have no plan. Like, I'm going to do this until I don't love it anymore, and then I'll do something else. But that doesn't seem to be, anytime soon. And it's why I started to do some of the other things. I didn't mean to do this way, but I'm going to do it this way. It's why I started to sort of build other things to try and help you. I'm not sure if you saw a few weeks ago, I actually launched, let me see if I have the graphic for you. I launched a free resource called Mindset Mastery, which you can still get at loumongello.com/mindset-mastery. Because I wanted to offer a way for people to start thinking about and wrapping their head around the mindset of taking this thing that they love and turning it into the thing that they do, and just give it away. Like I don't want anything from it. You have to, obviously sign up to get it, and you put your name on a list. But like that's really all I wanted to do. And then from there, like I wanted to realize, I realized like I wanted to do more, and I realized too that not everybody can come to an event in Orlando or come to a retreat or join a mastermind group that meets every week. And, it's a significant commitment, not just time-wise, but financially as well. So I started finally, after years, wrapping my head around, okay, what are other ways that I can help people at scale and ways that are approachable and affordable? Because it is this idea and this desire. I realize, hindsight being 20, like I've always wanted to help people, right? I was a lawyer because I wanted to help people who were in trouble. I had an IT consulting company because I wanted to help people build their sites and improve their business and streamline what they were doing. I started the Disney stuff because I wanted to help people have a better time when they came to the parks, and I started doing the coaching because I wanted to help people like live the life that they want to live and that they should live, right? Life is too short not to do what you love every day. So I started to think like, how can I help people, especially early on? Because I remember 20 years ago when I was starting this, I had no help. I had no guidance. I had no mentors. I had no resources. There was no internet back then to a certain degree, right? There was no social media. So the question I was answering was, well, how can I help people who are just starting out? Like whether you are a creator, a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you're just starting to ideate, but like maybe you don't know where to begin or how to begin or have somebody to help. And you can't invest the time to go to a conference or come to an event or even like, do a one-on-one coaching call. But like if you've always wished like that you had somebody to help you, like with the strategies on how to start and launch and then grow the business, tackle some of the challenges, which especially when you're alone are a little bit more difficult, and then equip you with some of the tools to help build your brand, well, I have something for you. And I announced it this week. It launched today. And it is why I created the first of something that I want to offer for you. And it is called the Blueprint for Solopreneur Success course. And every day for 5 days, if you sign up, I will send you lessons packed with actionable strategies, step-by-step guides, downloadable workbooks, and practical exercises that will help and guide you through every stage of ideating and launching your solo venture. And at the end of the 5 days, you can have everything you need to launch your business and turn your dreams into reality. And best of all, it's just $7. Like there's no catch, there's no strings, there's nothing else to buy, there's no upsell at the end. I simply want to help you turn what you love into what you do and your passion into profit. You can learn more. You can sign up again. It just opened today at $7 over at loumongello.com. And hopefully it will be the thing, it'll be the catalyst to allow you to do the thing that you love. And then when you're done with that, I'll have more courses coming along the way. I have a new mastermind group launching in the fall. I've got my Momentum Weekend Workshop, which if I'm smart, I have a logo. There you go. My Momentum Weekend Workshop in Walt Disney World. I think the course dovetails nicely into getting you started and then really sort of taking your business to the next level. When you come to Momentum in the fall, I'm about to start announcing some speakers, a couple of which may be in the room as we speak. And as I can see already, there are a number of Momentum veterans and returning veterans, which I love and appreciate. So forgive the sort of, non-Disney tangent, but I really wanted to I was going to talk about this at the end, but I really wanted to sort of start off by just expressing how much I appreciate you and I'm grateful for what I get to do. And, Sometimes it just takes a simple. I felt it when I was walking into Epcot in the rain, which I kind of dig. And I just saw Spaceship Earth, and I saw the monorail go by, and I closed my eyes. I was like just listening to the sounds of Epcot, including the lady that says, "Please get out of the way." Yeah, it made me just sort of, made that light go off today. You Tater, you can find You Tater on the YouTuber. Coughed up my $7 today. Excited to get rolling along. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate it. Lorraine, been with you a long time. You have been, Lorraine. I love when I get to see your name and so many other names that I've known for so many years. Like Jim is another one. Going back, it's not just a year or two. Like we're talking decades of going back. So thank you very much for being here. I'm just quickly catching up on some of the other comments. Andrew Prince, Andrew and his mom Vanessa, again, have been around for. And Andrew, tell your mom I have her answer. I have her answer tonight. So we will definitely talk about that, because tonight really is it is all. You Tater says, is that a navy blue shirt? Are you? I know. My kids make fun of me too. My wardrobe is very simple. Like I'm a simple person. Dark colors have become my friend as I've grown this way. I'm growing emotionally, but I'm also growing outwardly, and I'm really trying to find clothes that are slimming, none of which are working, which is why I always broadcast from the waist up. It doesn't matter. But yes, this is a blue shirt that I wore out to the parks tonight. So, all right, with that out of the way, let me just quickly catch up on some other comments here. Is there a time limit for the course, or will it be available for a while? Maria, the course will be, God willing, available ad infinitum. So there is no, I'm also not a huge believer in like forced scarcity and forced sense of urgency. Like you have to do things at your own pace, which is why I did the course this way, rather than have this first course, which I just realized is sort of a reference to food as well, but having this first course not just be, well, here's everything, good luck, go do it, because I know what happens. We buy all these courses, we do like part of the first lessons, and what happens, we never finish them, right? For one reason or another. We get distracted, it's too long, we get frustrated, there's nobody keeping us accountable. So it's why I designed the course this way. It's very simple. It's 5 days. Like it literally will sort of take you through the week. You get an email every morning. Each one comes with a worksheet, a couple of videos. So it helps to sort of guide you along without any pressure. So if you can't do your second worksheet on the second day, that's okay. You can always come back to it. Those, there's no sort of expiration. Once you sign up, like it's yours. You can come back and watch the videos, download the worksheets, do whatever you need to do over and over and over again. And certainly I'm always here to be able to help you as well if you need it. So, but there's more to come. I'm already working on my next course. This is the appetizer. I'm working on the main course, and it's something I think you especially, you will very much understand and relate to and hopefully appreciate it. Grace Corba, always like to see you. The entire Mouse fan family is coming in tonight, so I dig it. Mary Wells, nice to see you too. So, all right, let me see. We talked about some of that. We'll talk about some of the events and stuff later on. But tonight is really all about you and any questions that you have about Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. That is the official nomenclature for it. I know it's a bit of a mouthful. We can call it Lookout Cay just to sort of speed things along. But hopefully you had a chance to listen to this week's podcast. It was a great conversation. Becky Manka was there. Jeremiah Good from Laughing Place was there. There was so much to cover and discuss, not just about our experience on the island, but sharing all the different aspects to this brand new island, which admittedly, I personally, I did not have enough time to go through because I was doing a lot of interviews. I was capturing a lot of content. So I didn't get to see everything. So having Becky and Jeremiah there, having their additional voices and opinions, because I think we all sort of come at things from a slightly different way, I felt was really, really helpful. So Tonight, I really want to take your questions. I want to be able to address your individual concerns, because there's a good chance if you have a question, somebody else has it as well. A few of you have already emailed me. I did some of the research, so I do have answers for you. Jess, the bookish nerd, is about to sign up for the course. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate that. And if you have a question about the course, you're not sure, just shoot me an email and I will be happy to help you. So Amy says, will there be any meet and greets with Disney villains? Thanks in advance. So Amy, again, when I talked about the Disney and Lookout Cay, it really is, it's a Bahamian culture and appreciating the Bahamian culture and authenticity first, with a little bit of Disney sprinkled on top. There are characters, right? Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, Chip and Dale are the Disney characters that you will find, in addition to a couple of new characters that are created that specifically for Lookout Cay. Shelly and Lizzie, Shelly the crab and Lizzie the lizard. They're not walk-around characters, but you do hear them, and there are some bronze statues. I don't expect there to be Disney villains. It just doesn't sort of blend in to what this is about. This is really meant to be, like I said, I sort of feel there's an edutainment there's an edutainment value and focus here, letting you be educated and appreciating the Bahamian culture, the Bahamian food, the people, the art, etc. This incredibly beautiful island with a little bit of Disney sprinkled on top. So villains, I don't necessarily think you might see, but you absolutely, you never know. Jeremy Buck says, I might need to book a cruise soon to check this out. Very excited. Jeremy Buck, if you're looking for an excuse to come with us, don't forget we have Halloween on the High Seas on the Disney Magic that goes not only to Lookout Cay, but Castaway as well. So you can compare, you can contrast, you can do it both. And you can come, and again, if you want to find out more about that or a cruise on the Treasure in February, you can go to www.com/cruises and you'll get a free no obligation quote from our friends over at mousefantravel.com. There you go. That's the big extent. All right. Is the walk from the ship considered to be your 5K? Darren, this has been the subject of a lot of questions, a lot of discussion, a lot of debate. And we talked about this on the show. You when the ship docks and you look, or if you look at some of the pictures, yes, it looks like a very long walk. I think if you walked into Magic Kingdom and if they had sort of cleared all the grounds and there was just a walkway from when you got off the monorail to Space Mountain or Tiana's Bayou Adventure, be like, whew, that is a long bridge in the sun to get there. It's not bad. Look, this is not the body of an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. It's not bad. As I said, I think I would expect, and they already have, and I know from some folks who have been on the island since, some of the things that we talked about in terms of changes and improvements have already been implemented. Water stops, cooling towels, additional signage, fixing the flies, like all that has already been addressed and taken care of. I would not be surprised if they're able to do it from a safe, structural and safety perspective, add a little bit of shade to that walk as well. But it is not all that bad. So Jeff says, I'm curious as to why Disney decided to put the family cabanas so far away from the family activities. Seems it would have made more sense to switch the adult and family cabana locations. I've heard this comment a lot. It does make sense from that perspective. My feeling is that probably they wanted to put, and I don't know, like we're all speculating on a lot of these things because it would make sense if the family cabanas were by the family beach. I don't know if they wanted to allow folks who were over in Serenity Bay to have easier access to it. I did not get a chance to go in either of the cabanas. It is something I'd like to see. When Becky books herself and me and Jeremiah on our upcoming second research trip, we will try and address these questions for you. So, but I don't know, that they'll necessarily be switching the locations of both. So, is there a schedule of the day's events for Lookout Cay handed out, or you just hit stuff by luck? Great question, Karen. Your navigator, which is on your phone, is your guide, not just on board the ship, but at Lookout Cay as well. You do have a schedule of events, so you'll know as soon as you get on board, you'll be able to look through day by day and see what the schedule of events is. Everything that happens on the island in terms of entertainment happens more than once. So whether it is the events that happen in the Play Pavilion, whether it is the Rush, a Junkanoo celebration, it does happen more than once. So you don't have to fear that, well, if I missed, the 10 a.m. show, that's okay. There'll be another one at 2. Again, I'm making those numbers up, but you do have access to not a printed version, but you do have it on your phone. So are there adult-only areas on the Cay? Yes, Denise. So Serenity Bay, much like on Castaway, is an 18 and up adults-only area there, which is on sort of you do have to take the tram to the Goombay Cultural Center. So God, I'm messing the name. You have to go over to the Goombay stop, and then you can walk over to Serenity Bay. Again, I didn't make it over there. Becky said right now it was sort of it was divided up by some cones. I have a feeling that's a temporary divider. And again, first day, not everything was completed as yet, but yes, they do have an adult-only section. If you're choosing between sailing to Lookout Cay on the Treasure, looking between sailing to Lookout Cay or on the Treasure, which would you personally pick, with the understanding that the Treasure hasn't made her maiden voyage yet? Mia, that's a great question. And Becky, remind me of the. I can try and pull it up very quickly. Remind me again of the. Wait, never mind. I'll just do it myself. Cruises. I want to take a quick look at the itinerary for the Treasure. So the Treasure goes to Georgetown, Grand Cayman, Falmouth, Jamaica, and Castaway. So if you're asking me today, Mia, I'm going to say that for me, this is me. I'm going to say the Treasure because I've never seen the Treasure. The theme park related spaces are very intriguing to me. So I've never been on the island, and I have been already to Lookout. It's one of the things I wanted to sort of convey when we did the show this week was you have to sort of this Lookout, I think, is sort of a choose your own adventure island, right? However it is that you like to vacation. I think there are some people that are absolutely going to prefer Castaway over Lookout because it's the way that they want to spend their day on the beach. I think the opposite is also true. I think there's some people who are going to like Lookout better because they do want a little bit more of a chill, relaxed, resort-like experience. They love the culture. They love the food. They love the fact that it's a newer island. But if you're asking me today, I'm very excited to go on the Treasure. So let me see. Christine says our first time cruising in October. The February cruise does not go to Lookout. The October Halloween on the High Seas does. The February cruise on the Treasure does not. Joe Dupont is watching from Copper Creek, which I also dig a lot. Thanks very much. What's the best food on the island? What other questions are there? Jeff C. from jeffc.com. Wait, I want to make sure I get it right. It used to be Manly Pinterest Tips. Then it was Social Media News Live. And now it's Social Media News Live. One of those. Forgive me. I need more caffeine. What's the best food on the island? So the thing that I liked the most was, so the way that it works here is there are, like if you've been on a Disney Cruise Line ship and you've been to Cabanas, there are sort of different food stalls for different types of food. And one of them had, let me see if I can find the menu very quickly. I thought I had it handy, which I do not. At True Chew, okay, so at the True Chew barbecue, one of them is a chicken and seafood rice bowl. So they have pan-seared Bahamian pigeon peas and rice with marinated chicken. They also have one with shrimp and mussels. I really, really liked my chicken rice bowl. That, for me, was sort of the star of the show. They also had plantains. They weren't the best, but again, I'm giving grace on the first day. But I love like plantains, whether they're the soft like plantains or the squashed and fried plantains. But that was the best food on the island that I tried so far. When Becky and I go back with Jeremiah, I'll let you know. So what's the opinion of the fly situation on the island? Look, there was a fly situation the first day we were there, without a doubt. Again, I think it's one of those things that you can't anticipate until you bring the food out and then see what it attracts. They did try and address it immediately with having some fans on the tables. I have heard some folks that they already have addressed the fly situation that does not exist on places like Castaway. It's very fixable. It was an issue that day. It made not only getting your food but eating your food difficult. But it's a day one problem that I think is probably a day two solution. So I would not be overly concerned with that as well. So Kevin Shea says, "Hey Lou and all, just landed in Boston after spending 5 days on the Magic, 2 days at Lookout. Oh, you were on the double dip. Such an amazing, fun-filled DVC exclusive cruise. I'm hooked. I want to go back. We need to go back." Kevin Shea, maybe you can talk about some of these things about some of the questions that we're getting. So was there a fly issue when you were eating at Lookout Cay? Did you see some of these things already addressed? I will continue to monitor the comments for your answer. Are you and Becky going back again before October? According to the podcast, we are. Jeremiah and I seem to have at least in our own minds, I've packed already, conned Becky into booking a cruise for the three of us so we can really sort of investigate further and do a follow-up show. Kenneth Fuccia, is it true that they have a statue of Becky on Serenity Bay that says "Urchins stay out"? Can somebody screenshot this? That might be the best comment I've seen on the live show in a long, long, long time. So Amy says, "I know a ton of people who are Disney fans in New York, New Jersey. Do they depart from the New York City pier? Thanks in advance." So Amy, years ago they did, and we actually did. It was one of my favorite group cruises we've ever done. We did the one-way cruise from New York to Puerto Rico, and then did like an add-on in Puerto Rico. I loved it. Like, we did a pre-cruise event in the city. Becky and I were actually, when it was still part of the DCL offerings, there was another cruise, and Becky, I won't spoil it because I still believe we can do it. There was a cruise that we were planning, a themed cruise out of New York, that we were already sort of designing what the pre-cruise activities that were going to tie it all together were going to be. I was very, very excited about it. If you know me, if you look behind me, you could probably do the math and figure out what it was about. But as of right now, they are no longer departing from New York. I believe they will again, especially as they continue to add new ships to the fleet. Did I visit Castaway at the very beginning? How would I say it compares to Lookout pertaining to the landscaping? So, Lorraine, my first visit to Castaway was not, relatively speaking, the same as my first visit to Lookout. My first visit to Lookout was days after they were planting trees and planting, flowers and things like that. My first visit to Lookout, the island was sort of that was already in flight. If you go on something that is a preview cruise, if you go to something that is just opening up, whether it is a resort, whether it's a new development in Florida, you understand that the plants and trees just have not had time to mature yet. When we go back in a few weeks with Becky, or if it has to be in October, the island is going to look and feel very different. And again, Kevin, I'm going to be looking for your comments as well, somebody who just got off the ship and the island. So again, it's one of those things you have to be understanding. You can't make the plants and trees grow any faster. And again, because culture, authenticity, the environment are sort of the top of the priority list for Disney, it's important that the things that they are doing are not going to, in any way, shape, or form, negatively impact the environment that's already there. It's why there's a long tram ride. It's why there's a long walk. It's why those things are there, right? Disney is smart enough to anticipate some of these concerns, but they also have to make sure that they adhere to their agreement with the Bahamian government and their commitment to conservation and environmentality as well. Amy, I am also looking forward to the Haunted Mansion Lounge. Mary, same thing. I think that's really going to, I know is a huge draw. Jen, how was the snorkeling off the beach at Lookout Cay? I really wish I could answer that. I really, really wish, because the beach is, like I said, it's this velvety, soft pink, and the water is crystal clear. I mean, you can see to the bottom even as you're walking over the bridge. So I don't know. Some friends snorkeled. They said it was beautiful. There are no, buried statues the same way. Again, this is not Castaway Cay, nor is it meant to be. But I heard that the water was really, really nice. Do they have a kids play area like on the ship so that he can have time away from mom? Absolutely. So that's, like we said, one of the things is this really is like the ships themselves. It's devoted areas for family fun, adult escapes, and things are just for kids. So there is a family lagoon that has a shallow lifeguard area. There's also Sebastian Cove, which is this water play area. There's little slides. It's covered. It's very, very cool. I'm going to try and post. I posted a short video in my reels. My stories that had it. I'll try and post a reel that has it too. So yes, you can check your kids in there. He can spend some time there. Mom can go spending her time doing her thing, and everybody gets to have fun. So, actually, Scarpa, nice to see you as well. Let me sort of quickly. Kevin Shea says the chicken rice bowl is the best food on the island. I'm with you. I am with you, brother. Yes, there is an adult-only food area at Serenity Bay like Castaway. My understanding, as well as Her Majesty, who can really speak to the adult areas and the bars and cabanas more, is that, like Castaway, there will be elevated food options at the Serenity Bay food location, at their barbecue location. So, okay, so Kevin Shea says, no fly issue at all. Kevin Shea, by the way, Kevin Shea does not work for Disney. He has no skin in the game. Disney's always listening and adjusting to make sure the experience is enjoyable for all. It's why we love Disney. So, Kevin, you didn't see flies both when you were getting your food nor while you were eating your food because it was in both locations. Darren says, which child do you like better? Not talking just about food. I really need to see Lookout again, not as somebody who's there trying to gather content, because my little legs were running back and forth on those boardwalks like a little crazy person, because I was trying to capture as much as I could in a shorter period of time, and I don't feel that I experienced Lookout in terms of what it's supposed to be, right? This beautiful, warm, relaxing, serene type thing. So if you asked me tomorrow, if I could go tomorrow and somebody said, look, you can go to spend the day at Castaway or a day at Lookout, I would say Lookout because I want to see it again. And I would like to just, and by the way, I have to qualify this. I'm really, really bad at relaxing. Like it's a problem. I know it's a problem. I'm trying to fix it. I literally, I have a stack of, these are all the books. Forget the books that are back here that I want to read. I have a stack of books that I've bought or been gifted from people like, dude, you need to turn off your brain. But I would like to sort of pull up a lounge chair and an umbrella and just watch the water and read a book and close my eyes. So my answer is I would go back to Lookout Cay to experience it and for a little bit more of a chill thing. But we know Castaway. We're comfortable at Castaway. We know where everything is. We have, I've got my spot that I like to go to there. So that's a really bad non-answer. But I'll say, if I had a place to go tomorrow, I would go to Lookout. I would go to Lookout and I want to see it again. So let me see. Kevin says, and I'm referring back to Kevin because he literally just stepped off the island. Castaway is deep in theme and storytelling. Lookout Cay is so new. It will look and feel so much different in 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Agree. And I think too, Kevin, Castaway is meant to be Disney storytelling. It's what they do, right? It's what they are doing there is Disney storytelling. It was a Disney created destination first. Here, again, it's backwards, right? It's the opposite. It's Bahamian first, Disney second. So, is there enough Disney on the island? So, Elizabeth, this is the thing that pleasantly surprised me, because we talked about the Bahamian culture. So that's what I was expecting a lot of. But when you do things like the Play Pavilion, or you see Rush the Junkanoo Bash, there are Disney characters there. There's Disney cast members being very Disney cast member-y in the best way possible. So there are elements of Disney that you'll find at those specific locations. But if you're just sort of chilling on the beach, or you go to the cultural center and there's not the Junkanoo Bash and things like that, it's like if you've ever seen pictures or you've been to Aulani, you can tell it was sort of created by Disney, but it really is, it has its roots in this being a Bahamian destination first and foremost. So Drew Pike, so how amazing was the cultural center? So it's really interesting that you ask, because when I first heard cultural center, before I saw Concept Art 1, I had this vision in my mind's eye of what this cultural center was going to be. I'm like, well, it's going to be like an enclosed, is it a museum? Is it like this walkthrough thing? I didn't expect it to be this open air pavilion where, yes, there are things on display, but it's this living, breathing thing. There are people coming through. They're teaching classes like that are fun things. So you again, it's this edutainment. You're learning about Bahamian culture. You're making these headdresses, and then bang, Rush, a Junkanoo celebration comes through. So it does a really good job of connecting the dots without feeling like, all right, I need to make sure I show up for this thing because I have to sit down. Like, I saw kids doing it. I saw adults doing it, and really seemed to. So there was somebody presenting, right, talking about the how and the why and the background, and there were people teaching, right, and there's very sort of fun. And I, as somebody whose kids are now older, I shed a silent little tear. Watching kids and adults do these activities together. That's the important thing. It goes back to Walt. I want to make a place where parents and kids can have fun together. That's what was happening on Castaway, whether at the Play Pavilion or at the Cultural Center. And I'm like, I get it. Like, this really is that extension of what Disney tries to do in all of their products and all of their locations. Let's see. Chuck says, our only visit to Castaway was in February of '99. I remember the plantings and cover similar to what I've seen so far at Lookout. It needs time and some fine tuning, and that's right. I mean, Chuck, and I think that holds true not just with the foliage and the horticulture, but every part of it, right? The cast members have to sort of get into the crew members need to get into their rhythm, right? The folks who live and work there will find their rhythm, right? They'll find their voice, they'll find their rhythm. It doesn't happen day one. It doesn't happen, according to Kevin, it looks like it's starting to happen already on day 2. So, let me see. Tatiana says the same thing. The magic back in the 90s, not nearly as lush as it is now. There was no coral in the snorkeling area. So, Kevin says the fans were placed on the picnic tables. Eddie Kern says, I am so good at relaxing. Eddie, maybe you need to create a course on how to relax, and I would be more than happy to spend $7 to figure out how to do it, because I'm really, it's why it takes me like months to like, I can't, binge watching a show takes me months. I'm still trying to get through Shogun on, well, it's basically Hulu and Disney Plus now, which I've been so anticipating for a long time. Like, I love Japanese culture. I love history and the shogunate and all the different periods. And I'm like halfway through. I think I'm like, I'm now like a quarter way through episode 4. So I really could use any help relaxing. Okay, so Andrew says, don't forget my mom's question. So I want to make sure I articulate the question properly, because Andrew is in a wheelchair, so it's great to hear questions from somebody who has questions about accessibility and things like that. So the question that was posed was, wait, let me see if I can find it specifically. Wait a minute. I know I have it. The question was about the nature trail, and says, we're wondering how compacted the nature trail is for a wheelchair. As you know, we try to get most places, and they do. Nobody has more fun than Andrew and his mom, Vanessa. And once on the trail, how do we get to the pretty archway that we keep seeing photos of? My understanding from somebody who did walk the trail, and again has not pushed a wheelchair, was not with somebody in a wheelchair, says it's not necessarily basic wheelchair friendly, but a beach wheelchair will work. I said, the trail is sand, correct? He says some is packed, but a lot of it is mostly dirt and sand. Andrew and Vanessa, again, I don't know if that is going to change. When we first got to the island, the trail was indicated as being closed. It then, I guess, opened up later on in the day, which is why I didn't get a chance to see it. I don't know if that sand will either naturally or by, Disney magic will become more compact. But my understanding from the answer is that it is packed, but you're probably much better off using some of the wheelchairs like you see on Castaway that are beach accessible. So I would talk to Disney Cruise Line when you get on board and find out, or go through your travel agent, I'm Mouse Fan Travel, and find out in advance if that's something that you can or need to book, if they are available, etc. I didn't get a chance to find out while I was on the island, but that's a great question. But I will say, Vanessa and Andrew, that the rest of the island is very accessible. I saw folks in wheelchairs. It's one of the reasons why I loved the boardwalk and the raised walkways, and every walkway had a ramp. So I think making sure, to your point, that as many places as possible are very easily accessible, right? I know some places we've been together, you have to wait for somebody to, operate a lift. That doesn't seem to be the case on Lookout Cay. So, Darren says, realizing Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is so much different than Castaway. Any thoughts on the excursions that are going to be available versus hanging out on the beach? I haven't heard much about excursions, just about the beach itself. Yeah. So, in terms of excursions, let me just pull up my notes very quickly for you. I have a lot of, so as of our sailing, there were 16 different port adventures, including snorkeling tours, eco tours. So there's a Bahamian bank escape, a bike and kayak, biking and kayaking, certified scuba trip, an e-bike, sand, snorkel and history tour, nature and buggy tours, private historical and cultural tours via SUV or van, snorkeling by boat if you're certified scuba, a South Eleuthera eco and cultural or eco and historical tour, and a tropical reef safari snorkel. And there's also self-guided recreation, including bike rentals, banana boat rentals, snorkel equipment rentals, etc. So there are excursions both to and through the island of Eleuthera, as well as some of the historical and cultural aspects. And you also have things that are on the beaches and around the island. And of course, you also have the nature trail, which is completely free and included when you go. Let me see. Angela Batista, always nice to see you. Hope you and your family are good. Mary T. Wells, also not. I'm happy it's not just me that's not good at relaxing. I don't wish it on anybody, but it's all. Sue says, the first thing to relax, leave your phone by. So it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I used to be able to do it. For a while, I used to, when I was working, this is a bad example, I would turn my phone off. Like I would literally just turn my phone off so I could focus on what I was doing. I'm not sure I can execute on that, but you're right. I do need to sort of leave the phone or at least just turn it off. So, Chuck, I actually have the original 1980s Shogun. I used to watch it with my dad, and I have an unopened version downstairs on DVD because you can't really find it anywhere. So I'd love to finish watching this one, go back and watch the old one. But who am I kidding? I'm having a tough enough time getting through this. So, by the way, you've seen it. It's somebody screenshot this right here. We'll have to check on our research trip with Jeremiah smiley face. It wasn't a snarky, like it sounds to me like it's confirmation of the research trip with Jeremiah. So I'm very excited, Becky. I'm very, very excited. And I will even, if you make this happen, if you make this happen, what will I do? I'll buy you, I'll treat you to, well, I have to be careful. Like, I was like, I'll treat you to Palo or Remy, but no wine pairing. We'll figure something. You make that happen. I'll make it worth your while. We'll figure something out. But we need to do it not for us. We're doing it for them. We're doing it for you. I'm trying. So, Doghouse Dog says nature trails are not wheelchair friendly. Sand and dirt. It almost looks though they might become concrete. Yeah. So Doghouse Dog, thank you very much for that. We'll see, and I'll try and get additional answers and see if I can get some clarification in terms of what they are planning to do, if anything. But I have a feeling, like a lot of places, as that sand becomes more compacted, it becomes almost concrete. Like there's a lot of places like that in Castaway. So, Susan, I must finish Shogun. It's outstanding. I can't wait. Did I happen to see any of the animals at Lighthouse? It's Lookout Cay. It's Lookout Cay. I didn't, but somebody said they saw like Godzilla, like one of those giant like monitor lizards. Like it's a dinosaur basically, like roaming around, which is what you want, right? It's one of the things you want to see. It's because it is. They really went out of their way to sort of preserve the natural environment and not just disturb, the plants, but not to disturb the animal. So. Becky says, I've heard the trails have not been finished. And yeah, I know, Becky, and that's Pixie. So Amanda says, who's going to break it to Lou that work is not? This is what I was talking about, Amanda, at the beginning. Like, I love my work so much that sometimes it's relaxing. Like, when I have like a good work day, like today I had a really good work day, like a good meeting today in Epcot, like launching the course today, like that like fills my cup. Like it makes me super happy. Granted, I came home and I was like, God, I'm really tired. Oh, I've got the show in an hour. All right. But I go right into it. So maybe tonight, can I relax tonight? We'll see. As we were like, I've literally been writing like things on my like sticky note of things I need to do, but we'll see if that can keep till tomorrow. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you, but thank you. So, how was a buffet? I dug it. Doghouse Dog. I was wondering if that was you, Kevin. Doghouse Dog is Kevin Shea, walking through the airport. So yeah, this is why it's great to have. Becky says, Lookout and food. Becky. True. It's not that complicated. I'm going to get Becky a t-shirt that says, like, I love True too. Is that weird? No. Maybe. Will Lookout Cay have its 5K? Mike Armstrong, I have a definitive answer. I was able to get a definitive answer today because for some reason, people keep asking me about this. I don't know why everybody wants to run. A 5K is going to happen there. It has been part of the plan since day one. Cannot be confirmed when it's going to start. There are a few other things that have to happen first. There's some outstanding things that need to be finished first before they can move forward. But yes, there will be, for those of you who like to run, walk, wog, jog, wheel, cheer, whatever, there will be a Lookout Cay 5K coming soon. Stay tuned. So, apparently not. We're going to be texting to find a date for a research trip. Yes, we can. Can I just stay home in July? I just need to stay home in July. I have so much to do. Just run. I'm glad you're fulfilled with your work. That's the whole idea, Amanda. Like, the idea is we're supposed to be like doing things that we're called to do and doing that we love doing. So Grace Corbett says, see, Darren, now you can run. How was the merch on Lookout Cay? Maureen, great question. So there are multiple merch locations. One as soon as you get off the ship, as well as the others that are by the Goombay Cultural Center after you get off of the tram. Again, what I liked about the merchandise is that it features both Disney Cruise Line merch as well as authentic local Bahamian crafts. So when you first get off the ship and you make the walk near the landing, that the arrival and departure port, there is something called the first and last chance. So if you forgot your sunscreen, you don't have to walk back. Like, you can get sunscreen. It's also on your way out. If you forgot something, you forgot to bring something home for grandma, whatever, you can pick up souvenirs from there as well. So it's DCL souvenirs, last minute shopping things, cooling towels, whatever it is that you might need. Once you get to the Goombay Cultural Center, there's Disney Tings, which has the Disney Cruise Line and Lookout Cay merchandise. You name it, they've got it. They have got a wide selection. I'm sure you've seen a lot of. Let me see if I might even have. I don't have all of. I'll try and do a story or a reel in the next couple of days, but it's Disney character stuff. It's Lookout Cay stuff. They had everything from Christmas ornaments to corksicles, postcards, keychains, you name the type of clothing gear, they had it. They also had the Treasures of Eleuthera, and this is where they have the local Bahamian-made crafts and goods, and the artists are right there. Some of which have a little bit of Disney touches to it. Let me see if I can find. No, I thought I had an image of. Let me just quickly see. Yeah, it's. I don't want to waste time looking, but they have like straw goods, like with some Disney characters on it as well. So there's handcrafted jewelry and there's artwork. Other things that they're created by local artists, and the local artists are right there. There's also plates and pleats that you can get your hair braided. So there is a wide variety of merch if that is your thing. So let me see. I thought the bridge to Lookout Cay was the 5K. Hello behind Levi Stadium. Rest in peace, Willie Mays. I heard they were making announcements during games. There is, in fact, Drew, from what I understand, there is video of me doing the limbo. I was recording video as I was doing the limbo, so you're going to get a first-person view of it. Let me see if I can find that really quickly. No, you don't care about that. And then I think some other folks have it, but I just got... That's what I mean. I got caught up in the moment of like the characters and the excitement and the music, which is great. I dig the Junkanoo music as well as some of the other music that has been sort of reimagined with a little bit of Disney flair. Oh, yikes, Becky says we have it on video. Oy. I'm moving on. Caleb Joshua Hill says, Lou and Becky, what is your favorite part of Lookout Cay? So again, Caleb is somebody who did not get to fully experience it, like as a quote unquote normal guest. My answer is surprising, probably to you, because I'm not going to say the food, and probably to me, because I'm not going to say the food. I really, really enjoyed the entertainment. Like the Junkanoo parade was so high energy. It was so fun. Like people were getting, like you saw, everybody was like moving and dancing. Like even Becky, like I mean, I'm not allowed to make eye contact because it's like the eyes of Mara up there, but I did see her. And even Becky in the shade being fanned looked like she might have been enjoying herself, even with children in the area. But that and the play pavilion, like I wasn't with my kids, like I was by myself, but I got caught up in it. Like I got caught up in the characters. I got caught up in the energy. So the entertainment for me was something that I really, really enjoyed. The local artists, someone asked if you need cash. No, I don't know. You can use your credit card or Key to the World card from what I understand. Because I remember I saw one of them had like a credit card swipey, stripe, PayPal-y type thing. So yes, plastic should be fine. You don't necessarily need cash money. Who carries cash? Matthew Woolley, great question. What's one thing Lookout does better than Castaway? I'm going to say the entertainment again. I was really impressed because when I think of Castaway, I think of activities. I think of things to do, sort of making your own fun. But when I think of Lookout, this is helpful. I never thought about this. When you go to Castaway, there are lots of things for you to go and choose to do. Whereas on Lookout, there is this additional entertainment aspect more than just character photo ops, right, that you have along Castaway. So I think maybe that's the difference, right, is the entertainment and the cultural immersion is done better at Castaway. That's a great question. That is a really good question. So I'm not going to even, I'm moving past the limbo questions. Becky says, the beach itself, which I really wish I could have spent time on, and the elevated cabana design. Yeah, well, when we go with Jeremiah and we're in the cabanas, we will definitely be able to share a lot more for you. Like for Becky to say that the Rush Junkanoo was a must, that speaks volumes, because Becky, you'd fill in the gaps yourself. I kid. Wait, there you go. Trying to make sure I can still do it. Let me see. Elizabeth says, I'm bringing my Frisbee. I don't think there is a no Frisbee, I don't think that there's any sort of non-Frisbee restrictions. Lou Mongello runs on Dunkin'. Thank God for Dunkin' Donuts. Becky says, just do what I did, stay in the shade. But that's the thing, Becky, right? I think Lookout really allows you to vacation how you want to. And maybe the way you want to is staying on board, right? Maybe you don't want to get off. Maybe you don't want to maybe you're not a beach person. That's fine. I will say, I also feel that Lookout does shade better. There's a lot more shade. There's a lot more places to sit in the shade, right? There's like 37 bars on the island. I think there are a total of, let me see if I can quickly find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's like 6 bars, all of which have seating and shade, which I think is really nice. And that's, I think, one of the things that they also do. I don't want to say better, but it was a nice addition to that. So, Mike says, we're watching from Boston. Congratulations to the Celtics. And tonight is Riley's last sleep in 3rd grade. Mike, I feel it. I felt that one. Riley, congratulations. Riley, if you're watching, they say that 3rd grade is the hardest. So getting past 3rd grade is a huge accomplishment. I think your dad should take you to McDonald's tomorrow to go celebrate. And by McDonald's, I mean, if, the healthy smoothie place, whatever it might be. But congratulations. And Mike, go hug Riley. Like, it happens too fast. I have 2 kids in college. So a lot of you have known me. Oh, I'm going to cry. A lot of you have known me and my family for 20 years. Like, you knew my kids, whether from a distance or at events. You knew them when they were in strollers. And, I have one going to study abroad in a couple of weeks and 2 of them in college. So, I wasn't expecting that. But Riley, good for you. Let's see. Kevin Chase says, if you time the tram ride from the bridge, this is a great tip, Kevin. Try to arrive for lunch off the boat at noon. You'll be welcomed with a junkanoo. Yeah, I think the junkanoo takes place 3 times a day. I would have to go back and see. But the junkanoo is a can't miss thing. And so is lunch. Again, you come off the ship, go right, young man, young woman. Go all the way down. Go past True, find your spot. The Play Pavilion is there. You're close to Kumbay. You're close to the food. That is probably where you would find me. Would you classify Lookout as a Disney resort like Aulani? Absolutely. That is the parallel that I made when I was talking to the panelists and in interviews, and I think I said it on the show. Aulani is authentically Hawaiian with a little bit of Disney sprinkle on top. Lookout is authentically Bahamian with that same little bit of Disney magic put on top. And when I say Disney magic, I don't just mean characters and food and service, but just the way Disney does things. Karen says, Becky, you can answer this one. I saw the big cabanas, but are there smaller ones for groups of 3? I believe so. I believe there's only a couple of like very large cabanas, and then most of the other cabanas are smaller, correct? Becky also says a great mixture of Bahamian culture and Disney. So, Eddie Kern says, I can relax, says Lou, drinking Dunkin' Donuts at 8:30 at night. Somebody else was like, are you a lunatic? Like, you don't drink coffee at 8:30 at night. If it's me, man. I don't need the coffee tonight because you feed the energy. Like, there are many times before I start the show, like I'm dragging, like I physically dragging. But there's this, it's why I love the live video so much. I will do it till the day I die. Like, there's something about getting to talk with you in this environment that just, it fills my cup and gives me so much energy. So Becky says the family ones hold up to 10, 16 for the grand, and the ones in Serenity Bay are smaller. So I feel you, Lou. The kid in college struggle is real, crying with you. You know what? I want to go see Inside Out 2, and I'm afraid it's going to make me cry. I don't want to see Riley grow up. Like, I don't want to see any, whatever. I'm not going to. It's been fun watching our kids grow. Such great kids and family. Watching my kids grow. I thought it was like watching your kids grow. I was like, well, it's great watching your kids. Yeah, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed with a couple of good kids. So she says she loved this shout out we're doing it. Yeah, I want to try and see it. I've heard nothing but good things. Like, I want Inside Out to be good. Like, for us as fans, for Disney as a company, for all of us collectively, like I need Inside Out to be good. I need Deadpool 3 to be Deadpool and Wolverine to be good. So Kevin Shea says all the way right is the best spot. Drinks, sand, and beautiful rock structures near the lighthouse, which I did not get to go and see. I am happy that I am not alone on that as well. Oh no, Ashley says Inside Out's gonna make me cry. Yikes. I'm not sure if I can handle that, Ashley. I don't. Oh, don't stop telling me I'm gonna cry. Amanda, this is not encouraging me to go to this movie now. Taking my Girl Scout troop to see Inside Out 2 on Sunday. I don't want to. That's not. I mean, well, look. It's why we love Disney, right? It is. At the end of the day, it's why I had a conversation with somebody. I spoke to a corporate group last week, and one of the things I love about speaking is not just what happens on stage, but it's the conversations off stage. Like when I come off and had some conversations, and as I was explaining to an extension of what I was talking about during my presentation is the reason why we love this place, the reason why we come back to this place, the reason why we move here, the reason why we have annual passes is not because of what Disney makes us do. It's the way Disney makes us feel, right? Disney does a remarkable job of evoking emotional responses from us that not many other brands can do, right? Some of those other amusement parks don't do that. We don't have those emotional connections. It's the way that we make us feel, and it's what we want from the movies. It's some of the things that we haven't gotten from the movies in a long time. The only thing I felt about Eternals was slightly nauseous. So I want to feel again coming out of the movies. I want to feel that roller coaster of emotions, which is still what I think the Inside Out attraction should be called. It's the Inside Out roller coaster of emotion. It's fine. I want to feel the laughter. I want to feel the sadness. I want to feel the nervousness. I want to feel all those things, and hopefully Inside Out 2 is going to be able to do that. So Becky says Deadpool's going to be awesome. I just know Becky just likes the potty mouth. She just likes being able to go into a theater and hear that sort of potty mouth talk. It makes her feel much more comfortable that way. But Maria, you're right. It is all about the feel. Beatrice says Inside Out 2 did make me cry, but it was great. Did my daughter have any reaction, opinion on the fact that Suri Cruz? We had a conversation about Suri Cruz attending CMU. My daughter goes to Carnegie Mellon. Tom Cruise's daughter Suri is going to be attending there in the fall. The school it's an amazing institution, and it is there have been some incredible people that have gone through those halls there. So I'm very grateful for the fact that my daughter is able to go there. Becky says I do like my Deadpool words. Yes, and I've heard them. I've had to edit them out of the show many times. But, no, usually Becky's pretty good on the show. There's some hand gestures which will never make it into any of the short form videos, but occasionally, Eddie Curran says I'm doomed. Inside Out 1 made me cry. So look at that. And on cue, my not so young children have returned. So it's one of the things I love about summer. And that if you're a parent, my house is always the house that the kids come back to. When I was a kid, my house was the house that me and my friends always went back to. And I love that my kids and their friends feel comfortable. Like, as a parent, this is the best advice I can give. I can give you a lot of advice, not that you care or want to hear it, but make your home be the place that your kids and their friends can come back to. Not just so you can keep an eye on them, so there's no shenanigans going on, but there's this wonderful energy, like just hearing the laughter and the voices. So anyway, all that being said, all right. Any other questions about Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point? I'm trying to watch all of the chats. Does anybody have a trip to Lookout Cay already booked? Do you have one on the books that you are looking to go? And if so, what are you most looking forward to? What is the thing that you want to see most about Lookout Cay? And again, if you have any other questions about it, Becky also likes Rick and Morty words. I don't know if Becky's ever seen Rick and Morty. Listen, God only knows what Becky's watching over there. Like, that's just so. While you are, Darren says, one of the things I'm looking forward to on the October cruise is the famous pick we get every cruise. Darren, we got some good eating coming up. We got some good times coming up. I cannot wait, by the way. Like, I am ridiculously excited for this cruise. Why? I'm going to tell you why. One, because we get to do it as a group, which are my favorite cruises to do. I will tell you, like, on this cruise too, I feel very awkward and uncomfortable. Why? Because I'm a lunatic. I'm so used to, Becky can understand this too. I'm so used to having things to do, right? And having like other people around us and stuff. Like, when we don't have that, there's something missing. Like, there was something missing in this cruise, and the thing that was missing was you. The thing that was missing was our family being together on a cruise, eating together, being up on deck together, walking around the ship or on the island and seeing one another. So that's one of the things that I am really looking forward to it. Plus, I am getting my costumes ready. I said costumes, plural. They're not all Disney. I'm not sure if any of my costumes, one of them might be. But right now I have 3 different ones that I want to. I'm going to be like Becky. I'm going to have like 17 bags. Like, I want to be like an influencer. I'm like a bag just for my costumes. But there's 3 that I want to make sure that I bring. I want to do that one and then the other one. And I got to find the other thing. And I have to decide which one I want to get. But I love Halloween. Like, I'm a total 7-year-old kid. I'm like, I think we should have Halloween every night on the Halloween on the high seas. It's going to be decorated. It's going to be fun. I think we should have do costumes every night. That's my vote. That is my vote. So, Amber Bramble is packing for the Fantasy right now. She boards on Sunday. I love the Fantasy. I love that ship. I love all the ships, but, Brenda is going in January, looking forward to the entertainment as well. Karen says, I'm looking forward to the cultural things. Sean wants to see the water areas. Why is it pronounced Key and not K? Because Key is the correct pronunciation of the word. There's no derivation. There's no world where it is not pronounced Key. There are some other cruise lines who have taken a lot of poetic license and call it K, so it rhymes with something else, but that is not the right word. And I will tell you, in both of there was a sort of a press event beforehand, and then the media event on the cruise. They were very adamant. The local Bahamians were very adamant. Like, it is Key. It is key. It is not K. If you say K, that is just not a word. So it is, without question, it is key, despite what other folks might want to call it. Grace says yes on the group cruise. We'll see it all together. Can't wait to see that sand and water. I'm with you. I am absolutely with you, Grace. I've come over the years to really realize that all of these experiences are better when they're shared together. It's as somebody who is actually more of, this might surprise you, I'm an introverted extrovert. Like, I love the fact that we do these things together. It enhances my experience so very much. And I think it does for everybody else too. It's why, like, our Adventures by Disney, like, going on an Adventures by Disney is amazing. Going on Adventures by Disney together as a group is incredible. It's incredible. And yes, we are still going to do a recap show from London and Paris, but that's there is something about going. So if you've never cruised with us before, and this is not meant to be like a sales, but if you've never cruised with us as a group before and you've been hesitant, like, well, I don't know anybody, you do. One, you know me, and I know you to a certain degree, but you can be as alone or together as you want. But if anybody here, and I know a lot of you have cruised with us before, there is something extra special about cruising together as a group. Plus, we do some special stuff. There's always surprises stuff too. So, Becky Mink, I have costumes. I want to share one so bad. Like, I'm not sure everybody's gonna get it, but those that do are gonna love it. I could just, there's one thing I want to say. It's right here on the tip of my tongue, but it'll give the costume away. But look how excited I am about it. Look how excited I am for this costume. Darren is looking forward to his Table 125 reunion. I mean, look, that's what happens, right? Strangers become table mates. Table mates become friends. Friends become people who cruise together. Lori Oliveri, who's a Mouse Fan travel advisor, one of the best things that happened to their friends Paul was meeting them on a cruise, because now poor Paul and his wife, they've done, even outside of our group, like they just vacation everywhere together. They do everything together, and I love seeing that. So let me see. Becky, one of the costumes, there isn't, I mean, you can theme it, but you wouldn't get the reference because you're just not going to. There's an 87.9% chance you're not going to get the reference. So, have we ever thought about doing a cruise at least in the UK? Maria, we actually talked about that while we were in the UK. We did a meetup at the park across from our hotel, and it was something that came up in conversation, especially from some folks who obviously live there and would like to do something. So I am always open to ideas. So Starla says we're doing costumes or bounding type costumes every night. I love Starla. Like, I don't know if the thumbs up do. There you go. That's my I love Starla firework show. So, let me see. What is my favorite Disney cruise ship and why? I've only been on the Magic. Need to expand my cruise experiences. God, I like them. They're like children. Like, you like them all for different reasons, Kevin. I love the classic ships. It's where I started. I like the size of the ships. It was funny going on the Magic after having been on some of the larger ships the last few times. You're like, wow, like you walk into the atrium and it feels so much like more intimate as opposed to like the grand hall on the Wish or even the Dream of the Fantasy. I think the Wonder is still my favorite though. The long and the short answer is I think it's still the Wonder. It's a classic ship. It was recently refurbished. I love Tiana's on there, and I absolutely love the Promenade Lounge themed after, which the Promenade Lounge is, what's it called now? It's the New Orleans themed. It's not Bourbon Street. It's like whatever it's called. I love the Promenade Lounge on the Magic, and I really love it on the Wonder. So I think the Wonder is going to be my final answer, but my favorite ship is the one that I am going to be on. So. Mary loves the fantasy. It's just nice to have friends all over the ship. I agree. We always have a lot more fun. Looking forward to a Lookout Cay scavenger hunt. Mike, it's already in the works, but I need to go back because there's a lot to cover. It's what happens when I go on these things is sometimes my family and my friends are like, what are you taking pictures of? Like, why are you taking pictures of the ground? Like, there's magical things happening in front of me. I'm like, yeah, but look at that, like, detail. And they're like, you're a lunatic. So, if you've ever, like, worked on a scavenger or watched me when I'm working on a scavenger hunt, I look like I'm a crazy person. I look like I'm taking pictures of the things I'm not supposed to be, like, not in a bad way, but not supposed to be taking pictures of. So, can't wait to go to the Haunted Mansion Lounge. Amber Bramble, that was a huge draw for me, being like, yeah, Becky, we need to do the treasure. We sailed on the Wonder from Vancouver to Honolulu. Wow, I'd love to do that. God, that sounds like a nice cruise. Vancouver is one of my favorite cities. I really like Vancouver a lot. The Alaska on the Wonder is my favorite itinerary. Period. Period. So, Becky, we need to do another Alaska. If we did it, here we go. Informal poll. If we did a cruise to Alaska, who would be interested in going? Not in 2024, probably not in 2025. Maybe, good Lord, am I saying 2026 out loud? Like, if we were to do a cruise to Alaska in like June 2026, sorry, Becky, like, who would be interested in doing a cruise to Alaska, like, together in 2026? That's why Becky's like, we're doing the treasure. That's why I'm saying 26. The treasure's in 25. And then we wouldn't be able to do it within season in 2025, so it would have to be 2026. So the answer is me. I would like to. Mary T. Wells wants to do an Alaska cruise. God, I love that cruise so much. That is such a nice itinerary. It is so beautiful. It is so serene. Gary Witt. How much fun would we have? Like, we should go just for Gary's a good dude, man. Like, I'm not talking about you like you're not here, but like, Ash Basher says, as long as it's in the summer months. Ash Basher, I think that the sweet spot is where we went a couple of years ago, like right in that like first week of June, where everybody's out of school and it's not freezing, but it still feels like Alaska. Erin's in, Doreen's in. So, yeah, Amanda says that's the itinerary I'm doing May 12th, 2025 for a 10th anniversary. That's a nice way to So, Becky, like we've been talking about, Mike wants to do it with the ABD Land add-on. Now you're talking, brother. Now you are talking. Beatrice says, Alaska on the Wonder is the best. You should do it. Richard McFarland is in. Yeah. So that might be something to consider. So, oh yeah, we're also doing Egypt in 2026. Becky, it's so funny because Becky and I, like, talking to Becky is like recording a podcast because it's like they're 9-hour conversations, right? And yes, that's me making fun of myself. And then like we'll be like, okay, so one more thing, and so for 2027, I'm like, Becky, are you like, what's wrong with you? What is is there like carbon monoxide in your? I'm like, it's 2024. Like, let me get through today. And yeah, so, but we'll see. We shall see. ABD Alaska is actually cheaper than the cruise. I know, but the cruise is so nice. But the ABD takes you to different things than you see on the cruise. So maybe a little land and sea cruise line ABD action. You can pick and choose either or both. I need to get a calendar. I can write this down. 2026. Okay, there you go. Eddie Kern, 2048 Alaska cruise. Good God. Eddie, I have a feeling. Let me see. What is it? 2024? Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see how long I can see how long I can do this for. So, but yeah, back to back. Yeah, the cruise is easier for those with not great mobility, and I think Mary too. Different people want to vacation differently too. So, but anyway, all right. If that's it, if you don't have any other questions about Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, we will start to wrap things up. Certainly, we can talk more about this in the clubhouse. I also invite, I encourage you to share your thoughts, your feedback, your questions. You can share them not just in the clubhouse, but if you want to be on the air, if you want to play it, I'll play it on the show. 407-900-9391. It's 407-900-WDW1, and I will play it on the show. But if you can, please make sure to tell your friends about show number 786, our full guide and review of Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. Now, all that being said, a couple of things I want to quickly share with you. Again, please don't forget about the mini course, which launched today. This is a day that's why I'm celebrating with my Dunkin' Donuts. The mini course launched today. It is just $7. It is not something that is going to be, $7 today. That's it. It's just $7. And if you want to learn some of the strategies and practical and tactical ways to start, launch, and grow your business and overcome challenges and be equipped with tools to build your brand, go to LouMongello.com. You can sign up, and it is a course that's delivered to you via email over 5 days. I wanted to make it as easy and accessible for you to do it. So please go and check that out. And don't forget to, you can also download for free my Mindset Mastery Guide. That is just a simple PDF, some checklists and exercises that will sort of help you really sort of jumpstart your journey to become a solopreneur. Speaking of traveling together, in addition to the cruises that we have, both on the Magic and in the Treasure, October of this year on the Magic for Halloween on the High Seas, and our cruise on the Treasure in February 2025. It also happens to be our anniversary. We have a lot of other events going on. I cannot wait. Like, Japan is my favorite place on earth. To be able to go back with you in 2025. We still do have, I believe, Becky, there's 2 spots left for our ABD to Japan, May 18th through the 27th. And then some of us are going to be staying after a little bit to go to Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. I would love for you to join us. In addition to Japan, we also have our Adventures by Disney to Disneyland and Hollywood, the studios and the archives, Jim Henson Company, Disneyland, Walt Disney Department. That did sell out for our July 27th through August 1st date. But wait, there's more, because we added a second date, July 6th through the 11th, 2025. We now have a second date for an ABD. Whether you've taken ABD or not before, Becky says we have 2 rooms left for Japan, 3 rooms left for Southern California. This is a great way to not only try out ABD for the first time, but really see places you would never get to go and visit otherwise, and places like Disneyland in a way that you've never done before. But that's not all. Last year, for the very first time, we took our first, nor shall it be the last, river cruise on the Danube. Well, next year we're going back, but this time to the Seine, to Paris and Normandy, September 18th through the 25th. This is through Adventures by Disney, which is going to be amazing. I absolutely love Adventures by Disney and the way they do things. And river cruising is something special. Again, it's even better when we get to do it all together. That is in September. I know we have a few spots left for that as well. So again, we're going to go to Disneyland and Hollywood, the Seine River Cruise, and Japan. And for the Seine River Cruise, there's also an optional add-on ABD for Paris. So it basically is 5 different Adventures by Disney in 2025. And we've got the cruises. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do together. And again, none of this happens without the help and the support of Mouse Fan Travel. Whether you want to come with us on any of these adventures or like Lookout Cay, if you want to sort of create your own adventure, whether you're going to Disney destinations or anywhere else on the planet, Becky, close your ears. You know how much I love not just Mouse Fan Travel and their advisors. I've known so many of them. They're like family, but, the reason why Becky and I have worked together and have not murdered each other after the past, 18 years is because of the way they treat you, right, as family, and the special things that we get to do together as a result of that. So I think that's it for tonight's show. I think we covered everything. I think we covered the mini course. Oh, the other thing, again, don't forget my Momentum Weekend Workshop in Walt Disney World. I still have, I think there are 10, 11 seats left for this. I'm going to be announcing some of the sessions and the speakers over the next few weeks, but I promise you, this is and will be a life-changing event, whether you are a creator, a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you want to turn that thing that you love into the thing that you do in an environment that is going to be not just supportive, but where you do the work in the room, and I promise that when you come out the other side, you will be in a much different, much better place, and with the support and the guidance and the networking that you need. If you have any questions about any of these momentum related things, please feel free to reach out, and I will be happy to help answer any questions. I think that's it. I think that is it for tonight. Thank you again for being here. Thank you again for all of the great questions. Again, if there's anything else I can help you with, reach out via the Clubhouse. Send me a private message on Facebook or Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please pop over and do that there. And I think the only thing left to say is thank you. Thank you again. I love you. I appreciate you, whether you are a member of the Clubhouse, which hopefully you are. Hopefully you are part of this incredible community, this incredible family there, and especially if you are part of the WDW Radio Nation. Thank you so much for your friendship and your support. I'm looking forward to our next Nation call next week, and a couple of the surprises that I've been working on sort of behind the scenes, on and off the whiteboard for the Nation. But once again, most of all, thank you. I would not be here if it wasn't for you and the incredible life that you have given me and my family, and hopefully in turn, I've been able to bring you a little bit of happiness and a little bit of that Disney magic along the way. So I hope that you have an amazing night, an amazing weekend. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So that's going to do it for tonight's show. I love you. See you.